Yes, good evening again. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening. Good evening.
Welcome to another session of living together without falling apart.
Absolutely.
I am Dwayne.
And I'm Nashauna.
Yes, trust that you all just had a wonderful Sunday. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Here we are again.
We are again excited for tonight to be sharing with you all. We've just been encouraged by the encouraged by you approaching us indeed. So we are grateful. We are absolutely grateful for you joining with us indeed. So tonight we're going to share with you and how to keep the fire going, to keep the fire burning in your relationship indeed. So yes, my husband said something earlier on when we joked about how to keep the fire burning indeed. So what was it that you said about was it the wood?
Yeah, but in theory, if you're burning a fire, there have to be a fuel, some sort of fuel, in order to keep the fire burning, you know. So if it's a gas fire, you have to have gas. If it's a wood fire, you have to have wood. If it's a coal fire, you have to have coal.
You didn't say it quite. Didn't say it quite nicely like that. You absolutely didn't put it to like that. It was nothing like that. You're gonna chop the wood and make sure
you have to put more wood in the fire.
Exactly.
To keep the fire burning.
That is exactly what he said. You've got to put more wood in the fire. That means you've got to place more wood in the fire to keep it burning indeed. And also we wanted to share with you on this, right? Because a lot of people think about when we talk about how to keep the fire burning, they're probably straight away thinking about passion or romance and sex, and it's not all about sex and passion or romance. There are other things, there's other key elements that keeps your relationship burning, that keeps a fire burning in your relationship. So tonight we're going to share with you some other things, right, that we feel that is necessary to keep the fire burning, putting wood into it and making sure that it is burning in your relationship. So the first one that we wanted to share with you, right, and this is very vital in a relationship, is to respect each other's feelings. That is, if you are making a decision, right, you've got to remember. Now, ladies, I'm talking to ladies, and I know my husband always been touching on men, vice versa. But ladies, if you're going to make a decision, you have to bear in mind your partner's. You've got to bear in mind your husband's decision. Don't make a decision based on you only. Don't make a decision on what you will like. Don't make a decision on what you think is necessary at the time without even approaching your partner, without even approaching your husband. So you've got to respect each other's feelings, and you've touched on a high standard. Having a nice standard with, of each other, making sure that you value each other, making sure you respect each other in such a way you're not talking to each other any in, any out, no disrespectful, not being disrespectful as well. So respect each other's feelings. We both know that if we speak to each other disrespectful, then that will not work in a relationship. And at all times, it doesn't matter what the heat of the conversation, it doesn't matter how you're feeling, but respect each other. Respect is due at all times. You wanted to share on that?
Definitely. I think, as you said, you need to have a high standard of what, when you think of your partner, you shouldn't have them at a certain level, or belittling them or whatever. You should always think, the most of him or her, and also when you also making any decision, don't just purely make it off your back. If it's, don't get me wrong, if it's something simple, then that's fine. But if it's something that I don't know, say you're buying a piece of furniture for the house, or maybe if it's something vital that you are gonna be making that decision on, then it's nice to have the other half input.
Absolutely.
Instead of just jumping and just do things. What if you go and buy something and maybe it's a wrong size, the wrong color or whatever. So it's good to get someone else's opinion as well. You go and buy, I don't know, red and she doesn't like red. She like grey or or something like that. So it's good to have feedback and also be considerate.
Absolutely.
As well when you're making any vital decision.
Absolutely. I love
because
the fact
you do get people every people that will just jump and do things off their own back. Don't get me wrong, they probably have their heart might be in the right place where they, what's the word for it, they didn't mean no harm or whatever.
Harmless,
yeah, it's harmless, but it is always good to come together because you're a couple anyway.
Team.
So a team. So it'd be good to there's no I in team. There's we or us. So you need to come together and make any vital decision instead of jumping to do things all by yourself.
And I was just trying to touch on base what you've said, having that high standard. And sometimes we hear people relationships we hear husband and wife, we hear couples saying that, okay, I'm only with you because God says so, or I'm with you because you're not really my type. And to me that is really disrespectful. If I'm in a relationship and that person says I'm not your his type, but God led, that to me that is disrespectful. So and that the other party and the other partner can feel belittled. And in a relationship, keeping that fire burning, right, it is all about teamwork. So it's all about having an high standard of each other. Yes, God may have led you to that person, but you don't want to be saying, or you don't want the other person thinking no lower than how they should be, especially for ladies. Men, you would say the same thing as well. And even if God has brought you together, He's brought you together for a purpose. So respecting each other's feelings, because that again can cause the other partner to feel belittled, and you are on the same team. You are cheering each other on. I'm not going to say a cheerleader because my husband doesn't like that word, but you are cheering each other on, and that's what it should be. That's how it should be, and that's what keeps the relationship burning, because that person feels loved. They feel the other party, they feel loved, they feel cherished, they feel embraced by you at all times. So having that high standard, that value for that, your partner, for your wife, for your husband, having that value for him. Yes, God may have brought you, but you know what, we are together for a purpose, and that purpose we are going to fulfill our purpose. And you know what, we love each other. So making sure that your partner knows that they are respected at all times. Indeed. So yes, respect each other's feelings. Definitely. That is a long way. You have to respect each other's feelings. There's no going around it. You need to respect each other's feelings. Indeed. Yes. So I want to thank you. I know that some of you are logged on, so I want to say hi to you. Welcome to Living Together Without Falling Apart. Please let us know who you are. Interact with us. Type a message in the message box so we can know, and we can give you a shout out. Thank you so much for joining. Indeed. So the second point that we wanted to share is, do you wanted to share that?
Cherish every opportunity, every moment you get with each other.
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah.
You cherish every opportunity, every moment that you get with each other. And you always say that, you know what, tomorrow is not promised.
Definitely.
Tomorrow is not promised to us, right? So every moment, every opportunity that we have with each other, even if we are away, even if my husband's working, even if I'm working, right? But you cherish that opportunity that you have together. Well, how do we cherish that opportunity? Even if he's working, we constantly ring each other, and he could have just left out of the house, right? And this is how we live, right? You could just leave out the house, right? And then you'll be phoning, and we'll be having having that conversation, or if
She'll
I've
be
just
calling.
left out of the house, we're talking. So we're cherishing each other, every opportunity that you get with each other. Don't take it lightly, because again, tomorrow is not promised to no one. So every moment, I want to encourage you to cherish that. Make sure that you are indeed enjoying that opportunity. Don't take it for granted that you both are together. Don't put anything in front of your relationship. Every moment, make sure that moment is cherished. And even in the bad times, even when because you're going to have disagreement, make sure that you're still cherishing those moments. Indeed, don't lose out. Don't lose out on no opportunity to cherish the moments, because I think that a lot of times we think that we've got an all future ahead of us, and then God forbid, who knows what happens. So keeping that fire going, every opportunity that you get, make sure that you're cherishing it. Speak to your husband, speak to your partner, speak to your wife as often as you can. Every opportunity that you get, you may be listening to me, men, and probably thinking, what do you mean by speaking to her as much? I've just left the house. But cherishing it and keeping the fire going, keeping the fire burning, indeed. And sometimes you think that we could never run out of things to talk, because you're constantly, there's always something to discuss. There's always something that, oh yes, we need to work on this. So keeping that and cherishing each other, cherishing the moments, and making sure to make the best use of it each day. Indeed.
I think to be honest, life is very short. Anything can happen at any given moment. To be honest, so every opportunity that you get, you should express to your loved ones how you feel. Whether if it's it's your wife, your children, whether it's your husband, whatever, you should because God forbid something happen and you didn't get to say, oh, I love you, or whatever. You never know.
Absolutely.
Life is so unpredictable.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. It is. Life is so short. It's so short. To be honest with you, here today, gone tomorrow. As harsh as it sounds, but it's true. It's true.
Cherish it. And also we said about date nights, making sure that you put in a date night whenever possible. Indeed, keeping that fire going, because sometimes we can be so caught up sometimes with our everyday life with the children, and you forget that you need to throw in a date night. And sometimes it's so hard. And even if you can't get a babysitter, even if a babysitter is not available, send the kids to bed early. Try and send them to bed early and make sure that
it doesn't take a great deal, really. You just need to if, as she said, if you can't get no one to have the kids, send the kids to bed early. Just sit on the sofa together, just talk, just have that one-to-one time. Speak to each other, find out how things are going at work or in general. Find out how she's feeling inside, or she need to find out how he's feeling inside also.
Absolutely,
and stuff like that, because we're not mind readers at the end of the day. So you need to talk to each other. You need to spend time with each other. You need to interact with each other. In order, because to be honest, life can be so hectic sometimes. And then things start. One thing lead to another. You start drifting apart, and then this and that, and then before you know it, the whole thing has crumbled. So just try and spend time together. Just try and squeeze something in. Whether even if you're lucky and get someone to have the kids, then you can at least go out. You can have something to eat. Go to the cinema. At least once a month or so. Try and schedule that time in. Just like how you can find time to do anything else, you can find time to spend with each other. If there's something that you want to do, you always find time for it. So there is no excuse, really.
And it's about keeping the fire going in your relationship, making sure that the love is rekindled, making sure that the love is being established in a way, making sure that the love feels like love. Indeed, because sometimes you can be in a relationship and the love doesn't feel like love, and you're thinking, what's happening? And sometimes you stay in the relationship and your love is not feeling like love. So you've got to make sure it's your responsibility. I don't think anybody should blame the other party or the other person. Each and every one, the woman and the man, you've got that responsibility. Ladies, you've got that responsibility, and men, you have got that responsibility to make sure that you keep the fire burning. So if both of you are working together, the fire must burn, and if one is not pulling the weight, then the other will back each other up, because it's a teamwork. In your relationship, it's always a teamwork. And if you look at that from that aspect, teamwork, you know what, we are on the same team, we're cheering each other on, that is our motto. We are on the same team, and I'm cheering my husband. I know exactly how my husband will feel. So if somebody's having a conversation about my husband, I could tell them exactly what he would say. I could tell them how he's going to feel about it, because we're on the same team. So I can speak. And nobody would dare disrespect or say something about my husband, because I know exactly how he would react in a certain situation. It's all about respecting, cherishing every opportunity that you get. The fire, keep that fire burning, making sure that the love feels like love. And that is so vital. The love must feel like love. If it's drifting, then somebody needs to reel it in, indeed, and making sure that the love feels hot at all times.
I think that also personal development as well. I think individuals, they need to work on themselves as well, because I think we touched, I can't remember if it was the first series we touched on this. You need to feel, if inside you're not happy yourself, you're not going to show others that happiness or that love, are you? So you need to work on yourself as well, personal development as well.
Loving yourself,
definitely.
Making sure that you are working on yourself, loving every part of you. It may not be perfect, but you've got to love every part of you.
You need to be happy in your own skin. To be honest,
comfortable.
You need to be
comfortable in your own skin. And sometimes I find that us as women, we are uncomfortable in our skin, and then we expect our partner or husband to be comfortable around us. So it starts from us. If we are comfortable in our own skin, then our husband or partners will be comfortable with us. We can't expect him to be comfortable, and we are so unsure about ourselves. We are unsure about, I don't like this part of me, and because I don't like this part of me, I'm not, I feel not valued. I don't value myself. Indeed, you need to value yourself first and foremost. You need to know who you are, and when you know who you are, you will value yourself. You'll be confident in your own self, in your own skin.
I think
as well.
also is not everyone is born. Not everyone is perfect. Nobody's perfect at the end of the day. No. Some people, they probably, some part of their body they don't like. Maybe I don't know, their eyes, maybe their ears, their nose, whatever it is, they don't like. But you need to be comfortable in your skin. You need to be happy with who you are. You need to, if you're not, you need to work on it.
Absolutely.
And you definitely need to feel happy inside. What I mean by that, in order to reach out to love someone else, you have to first love yourself.
Yes, it starts from you.
Yeah.
It definitely starts from you. So again, we want to encourage you on that point, is cherish every moment, every opportunity that you get with each other. Don't take anything for granted. You want to keep the fire burning. You want to make sure that the love feels like love at all times. It's pointless being in the relationship and the love is sour. The love is not feeling like love. And when the love is feeling sour, that's when you got to do something about it ASAP. Don't even make a minute pass without you doing, because sometimes you're together for that period of time or for how long it is, and it's deteriorating. And then sometimes, because the other one's not doing anything, we tend to say, I'm not doing anything because he's not doing that thing, and the men will say, I ain't bothered because she's not bothered. It doesn't work like that. One's got to be, you both should be in it together, 100%, working on yourselves both, together, and that's how it keeps
Yeah.
burning at all times.
Definitely.
Indeed.
And it shouldn't be left to one individual. It should be both. Both parties should be responsible to make it work, really. Instead of one person making all the effort all the time or whatever. It should be, it's now 50-50. It should be 100%. So both parties should be given 100% in it.
Yeah,
To
absolutely.
be honest. Another point also that we spoke about that we're going to speak about is do not go to bed hungry with each other.
You love this one. Absolutely.
Ladies.
Ladies. And I'm always going at ladies because sometimes I know how we can be, especially when we get a bit mouthy. Instead of trying to resolve the situation, we just head off straight to bed. But I think that we learned when we first started our relationship, and I think that we discussed that we must speak to each other before going off to bed. It's one of the worst things that you could possibly feel, like lying down, right? And we've tried this before, right? He can't sleep and I can't sleep, right? And we're twisting around, and you're uncomfortable and I am uncomfortable, right? So instead, what we had to do in the end, right, we had to make sure we got up and speak about it, and then we felt at peace, and then we could sleep, right? So we've always learned that lesson from day one, that do not try to go to bed with a hangry spirit. That ain't gonna work, right? You cannot do that, ladies. You cannot do that, because when you wake up, then the next thing is sometimes you're so rushing to go off to work. What happens is your husband is getting ready for go off to work, your partner is getting ready. The next minute is you're out of the door without speaking to him because you've already gone to bed from the night before, and then that drift in the conversation, that drift throughout the day, and sometimes you don't even get the opportunity to speak throughout the day. And even if you speak throughout the day, you both probably be at work, and then tension falls in terms of it. Always try to resolve that situation there and then before you go off to bed. Don't wait until you're the next day or 2 days or 3 days after. It needs to be resolved. Do not go to bed angry.
Yeah, definitely. Do
Indeed.
not go to bed angry. Imagine you go to bed and had an argument, and God forbid it, and something bad happened. You never forgive. You're not gonna forgive yourself, to be honest. So I think if you ever have an argument, I'm begging you, just sometimes you just have to swallow your pride. Even when you're right, even when you're right, accept that you're wrong for peace sake, and just try and just sit down. Whatever the issue is, just talk to each other and try and work it out. You can always. There's nothing too hard that you can't talk about, or nothing too tough that you can't talk about. But the main thing that's stopping you from resolving it is pride.
Absolutely, pride.
Yes, this thing called pride is because of pride. You won't stoop down to that level to apologize or to say, oh, I'm wrong. Even though you're wrong, but you still won't accept it. Because of pride.
I know a lot of male have walked out of their relationship because of pride. How would you encourage them? What would you say to them in terms of, being able to accept that, okay, this is what it is, but I am sorry? How would you,
but if you've got something good, yeah?
Speak to the men, yeah? Men, listen.
If you've got something good going on, why are you gonna throw it away for the sake of one argument and for the sake of just accept that you're wrong? You need if you're wrong, you're wrong. Just put your hand up and say, look, I messed up. This this is whatever, this that or whatever, and just compromise. Talk together and just try and resolve whatever it is. But because of one simple something stupid as well. Could be something simple, silly. And because of that and because of pride, you just You just walk out because you're hot-headed and whatever, you know.
So in saying that, it's always good to work it out and
Definitely.
you know, swallow our pride in some aspect. And another thing that I wanted to say, sometimes we walk out on a relationship thinking that the grass is greener out there, and I always say that grass ain't greener. It ain't no greener. You think that it's greener,
Probably there ain't even no grass out there.
No grass, and that's the thing. The grass will not be greener, and then suddenly they find out when they're out there thinking the grass is green. We're seeing that the grass is dry indeed, and try to come back. So it's always good to, you know, just to say I'm sorry. Do not go to bed, because we're touching on going to bed angry. Indeed, it's always good to say I'm sorry, and that's one of the best ways. This opportunity to make up when you're actually in bed is the greatest feeling. Indeed, so. Do not, ladies, do not, men, go to bed hungry. Make sure that you make up. You know, make up. Romance is there already. You just need to you know, apologize, say what you need to, open up, be open up, because we touched on this last week. Be open, share your feelings, indeed. And whilst you're doing that, be respectful to each other, respect each other's feelings, indeed, making sure that you're keeping the fire burning. As I said, the love must feel like love, indeed.
Yeah.
When the love starts to feel a bit drifty or getting sour, you need to rekindle that love. You need to do something. You need to throw in a date night. Don't allow it to be sour. You know, when things are going off, don't allow it to get to that stage. If the minute you realize that you guys are drifting from each other, the minute you realize that you are not attracted, you know, to each other, because sometimes you're in a relationship and they're not attracted. They were attracted to each other in the beginning, but then after, the attraction starts to fade. The minute you realize that you've got to do something, it is in your hands. You can't wait. You can't say it's up to the other one. You have to do something about it. Indeed. So yes. Do not go to bed.
Yeah. And you know, even on the topic keeping the fire burning, you know, even you get some male or some female, they will only buy something or even not buy something, but how could I say this now?
What would they want to do?
They would surprise their partner, basically.
Throw in a surprise.
Yeah. They'll throw in a surprise, but only when there's an occasion, you know. But you don't need to do that in order to keep things fresh and whatever, you know. Sometimes you're out, buy a bunch of flowers, you know, if you know, probably even a card or something, you know. If you like chocolate, buy her chocolate, you know, a bunch of flowers, so a $5, you know, it doesn't cost nothing. Yeah.
And the surprise don't have to be expensive.
You don't have to be nothing much. It's the thought that counts.
Yeah.
You know, to be honest, you know, instead of she cooking all the time, you come home when you cook. Help, you know, even you know, she's at work, you come home, you cook, you know, if you see little things that need doing, you just kind of put it in place and do, you know, it's common sense, most of it, you know, and it's just the simple little things that makes a difference. You know?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And it's all about keeping the fire burning in your relationship, not leaving the responsibility to one person, making sure that responsibility is shared. You guys are a teamwork, and so you do things together. We do a lot of things together. We cook together, and sometimes, as I said, we want to argue to say who's going to cook, and I'm like, I'm cooking today, and he's like, he's cooking today because he's going to fill it with pepper, and I'm like, let me cook today, right? Or I make sure that I'm inside, or sometimes we say, let's keep each other's company, even to wash your dishes, or just the silly things like that. Just keep each other's company. I like when I'm washing up, right? If he's cooking, I'm washing up. I like when he's there, we're just talking, even if we're just talking, just to keep each other's back. You know what? We are enjoying each other's company, and we're making sure that we cherish every moment together, indeed. So yes, that's number 3 that we wanted to share with you. Number 2 that we wanted to share with you. So the third one that we wanted to share.
Number 3.
Number
Sorry,
3, yeah.
Number
3.
Yeah.
The third one that I wanted to share with you is make sure, the fourth one, to make sure that you stay for the love. Let me get this right. Stay for the love, right, and not for any other reason. What do I mean by staying for the love and not for any other reasons? I'm tired, right?
What do you mean?
I'm tired of hearing people in the relationship, so I'm just staying because of, oh gosh, the kids. I'm staying because of the house. I'm staying because, I don't think I'm going to get anyone, right? Make sure that you stay for the love. If you're going to be in a relationship and the love is not there, right, why are you prolonging it? So, I'm staying because I can't find nobody else. I'm staying for the children. Stay for the love. In the first place, make sure that the love...
Yeah, when you explain it that way, when you break it down that way, it seems so sad, isn't it? It is sad, really. Someone, they literally, they're just living together just because...
living together and falling apart.
Just living together because I don't know. If you want to live together with someone, go and rent a house with roommates.
Absolutely,
if that's the
it's
case,
being
then
real.
Because at the end of the day, imagine you're with someone, you're living with someone, and just because of the kids are, because you're in that comfort zone, even though you're not happy, but you're in that comfort zone, you're just afraid to leave. It's so sad. It's sad. It is sad.
And if you're going to stay, right, make sure that you're able to work out the relationship then. Because I've heard a lot of people, okay, I've stayed with this person, right? This person had mistreated me, but I've stayed because, I can't do any better. What? I can't find anybody else, right? Make sure that you're staying for the love, right? So if you're going to stay, work on that relationship, right? Work on the relationship. See if there is any possibility of rekindling that relationship. So that was what I would have done.
Initially, I think that's a good idea to try that first before you actually knock it on the head or
absolutely.
Then
absolutely.
It is a good
So
idea
work
to
on the
try,
relationship.
But
get counseling or so. But if you're at that point then that the relationship is not working, that both of you are not agreeing or so, and instead of staying, and when you can have the opportunity of moving on, right? And we're just being real, right? Why stay just because of the children and you're not in love? Why stay? Why put yourself through that thing? Why put yourself through it and be grumpy, be miserable for the rest of your life? Nobody's saying to leave, right? But if you're going to stay, make sure that you stay for the love. Make sure that you are
staying for the right
reasons as well. Make sure that you are willing to put your heart back in it. Make sure that you are willing to rekindle what you've started. Make sure that you are willing to work on the mess and turn it into a message to both of you. Make sure that you are willing. Do not stay for any other reason. Do not stay because you think I'm just staying for staying sake. Stay for the love that you want to work with each other. You want to grow with each other. You want to love each other. Indeed. It's sad. It's a sad situation when you find couples that are, relationships that are just staying because some other reason and not staying for the love. You need to make sure that you are working on the love. Make sure that the love feels like love. And if it gets that sour stage, right, and you're just staying for the reason, you need to make sure you find a way to rekindle that. Get some help. Get somebody that you can trust. Get somebody that you can pray that will pray with you, pray over you, give you good, honest opinion. Because not everybody will give you honest opinion. Some people will tell you exactly what you want to hear, and that's not what makes a great relationship.
Not at all.
You've got to make sure that they're able to tell you as how God will allow them to say to you. Indeed. So find that person that could help you.
And remember, anyone that you're gonna get advice from need to be someone that is qualified to give advice. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Definitely. They need to be someone that can give advice. To be honest with you,
how would you class give advice? I always say, look at somebody that's been there, wear the t-shirt and still wear the t-shirts, right? Because some people, they've been there, they wear the t-shirts and they've quit, right? Then, if you've quit, then how can you help me when I'm going through this? How can you help me to sustain it? Indeed, making sure that you find the right person, pray about it, and making sure it is the right person that you can give advice to.
And sometimes when sometimes you speak to some people, and you hear their experiences, it kind of embedded in your head. So some of the things that they've been through, and it kind of like you're learning from their mistakes, in a way. You understand? You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah. You're learning from the mistakes. You're taking their mistakes on board and say, hey, I'm not gonna do this, or I'm not gonna do that, and
it ain't gonna happen,
and stuff like that. Yeah, because even like before, when I used to work in the factory as a technician, like years ago, I remember there's a lot of guys I speak to, a lot of guys, and and they used to tell me their experiences that they've been through with their girlfriend, their partner, their wife, and so forth. So I do kind of and I take all the advice on board. Don't get me wrong, some of it is nonsense. You'll filter it, and take what's good out of it.
Take the good bit out.
Yeah, definitely. And this both of the rubbish, to be honest. But you need to stay for the right reasons. Definitely.
And another thing that we said was to keep focusing on the whys as well. What attracted you? What was it? Why were you attracted
in the first place?
In the first place, that's what you should stay. You should stay for. That's the love. So why were you attracted to your man, your husband?
Your wife.
Your wife.
Yeah.
Why? What was it that brought that attraction? Into stay for that reason.
Yeah.
Rekindle that reason. Work on that reason. What made you fell in love all those years ago. That's the reason that you need to dig up now, and that's the reason that you need to expand on. That's the reason that you need to go back and just making sure that you are staying for the love. That's the reason that you need to staying for the love in that sense. So what is it that made you fall in love? And work on that, give it a go, find somebody that could help you, but don't stay for no other reason. I'm staying for the kids, and then you're just grumpy, you're miserable for the rest of your life. And I know God will not have nobody being grumpy or miserable. God will not have anyone just living their life because I'm gonna stay till the kids get older. Indeed, or stories.
It's sad. Yeah, don't stay for the house, don't stay for the car, don't stay for the kids. Yeah,
or stay
for yourself. Yeah, make sure you're staying for the right reasons. Yeah, make sure.
Absolutely.
And try your best to work things out. Yeah, try and make things work. And
don't stay, ladies. Do not stay because you think that I can't get anyone. I won't get anyone. In fact, who would look at me? Have had these children. Who would look at me? And you're in the relationship, and you're not loved.
Well, the thing is, you'd be surprised who would look at you. You'll be surprised. No, because a lot of women, they kind of look down on themselves. They don't think that much of themselves when they should do, to be honest. Because what you see in the mirror and someone else sees two different things. I'm telling you,
and
two different
beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So
listen, as they would say, every whore of the stick a bush.
I love this one.
So for every man, there's a woman out there.
Absolutely.
And that
man will cherish the worship, the ground that you walk in. He will treat you as how you should be treated.
Definitely.
So don't for 1 second think that, okay, I'm going to stay because I can't find anyone, or I'm too old.
Don't settle for less. Do not settle for less. You're worth more than what you are.
Absolutely.
More than what you think you are.
Solid advice,
Yeah.
indeed.
Definitely.
Solid advice. How to
Definitely.
keep the relationship burning, and how to keep the love burning in your relationship. As I said when we first started out, I just want to just say thank you. Yes, I can see those comments. Thank you so much, indeed. But, we said it's not all about, because they think in keeping the relationship, the love burning, it's all about sex. And, it's not all about that. There's some other elements that, will help you as well.
Definitely.
Yes, that is great. That is good, right? But there's other elements that will definitely help keep that fire burning within. And we just wanted to come on here and to share with you also that you can have that knowledge as well, and you will be able to go from here and to keep that fire, go and work on that relationship and making sure that the love feels like love at all times. Indeed. So we wanted to share this last tip with you, advice with you, and it says achieving your purpose together. How do you keep the love burning, the fire going, the fire burning, achieving your purpose together? What do I mean by this now? I remember the Lord spoke to me, say about a few years into a relationship, and he said to me, at first, I got married when I was 21. And for me, that is a young age.
No, you mean we got married?
We got married when I was 21, right? And for me, right, that was absolutely young. We were young. We were so young. At 21, you don't even know half of the things that you're meant to know.
Even when we were getting married, a lot of people were saying, "You sure that you want to get married? You sure? You sure?"
I think we had so much people doubting us. We had so much people doubting us, doubting the fact that, but we loved each other, and the little that we knew, we loved each other. We wanted to make it work, indeed.
We put a little and make much.
Absolutely. And this is the much that is out, and we're saying this to encourage somebody. You might be young, you might be saying, can we really get married at that age, that young age? Of course you can. There's nothing stopping you but you. There's nothing stopping you but you too. If you love each other, and once you put God in the center of your relationship, let me tell you something, right? God will make sure that your relationship is going, and God will prove everybody wrong, right, that doubted you in the first place. Indeed. So yes, when we got married, a few years into my relationship, I remember my marriage, the Lord spoke to me. And he said to me, and this was when the pressure was getting to me now, because married life is just different. Nobody can prepare you in that aspect of it. And I felt like I was still young. I was still learning things, right? And the Lord spoke to me, and he said to me that I brought you together for a purpose. I heard somebody spoke those words, right? I looked around because my husband wasn't at home, and there was nobody in the room, but I knew that it was God that was speaking to me. And he says, I brought you together for a purpose, right? What was the purpose at that time? Nope, I did not know that purpose. But as the years go by, and as the time goes by, I realized that the purpose, what God was saying. And I think sometimes last year as well, we kind of experienced a situation, the Lord spoke to us, indeed, that, we've been assigned this mountain to show others that it can be done. Well, am I saying to you, achieve your purpose together, because we know we've got purpose. We are working on it. That keeps us bonded together, because we've got purpose. We've got something to do for God. We've got something so that God will get the glory, because in everything God must get the glory. And if he's got a purpose for you, and if you're listening out there, and you may be married, and you're not quite sure of your purpose, right? Seek God and ask him, what is it your purpose? What is the purpose of both of you? Because God puts two. The man leaves his parents, he leaves his mother, and he clings onto his wife, right? So that they can become one. So the two becomes one, right? And the two then have a purpose, right? So your purpose, right, must be done, and then God will get the glory. So whilst you are achieving that purpose, right, it gives you that motivation. We are motivated,
Definitely.
indeed, to make sure that our purpose is carried out, indeed, and we work together. We are on the same team, because God must get the glory out of our purpose. Indeed.
When you sit down and you think about life in general, and you look at a lot of married couples, a lot of them, like, I don't know, their relationship is not, what's the word for it?
Is that the fire you're talking about?
No, I couldn't even tell if there's fire there, to be honest with you. But they do like the basic, basically. Yeah, they don't go over and beyond.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? Like they'll get married. No doubt they must love each other. And also they love their kids, their family home, and so forth. But when you sit down and look how life is so precious, life is so short. You need to sit down, you plan some things together, achieve some goals. You look and you say, all right, plenty of people know they haven't even been abroad. They never been on a plane. No, it's the truth. They never been on a plane. It's a wife or it's your husband. So plan some things. Life. Look, you got plenty of people out there. They're making it. They're smashing it. They're doing this. They're doing that. And we as Christians, why can't we go out there and do it as well?
Absolutely.
Book a holiday. Go somewhere nice. Go feel the sun in between your toes. Walk on. Get laughing. I'm serious.
Absolutely.
When I look at life, this is how it should be. Go feel the sun in between your toes. Go and experience some sunshine. Walk along the seaside. Go running along the seaside. Stuff like that. Go for a swim in the ocean.
Do something.
There's so much things out there that you can be doing together. Even husband. Go do some overtime. Do some overtime and book a little ticket. You can do something with a woman. Treat her. The same thing. Wife, treat her husband also.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
When I was younger, when I was the first stage in my marriage, when we just got married, and I sat down and I said, Lord, I used to work in a factory then, and like the money was rubbish. Absolutely rubbish, but just about pay the bills and surviving and put bread on your table. And God has blessed us tremendously now.
Absolutely.
We've come a long way, to be honest, which we're ever so grateful for.
To God be the glory.
But even them days I used to sit down, I used to daydream. I used to say, even when I get some money, I'm gonna book a ticket and even go to New York for the weekend. I wanna just stuff like that. Just spare the moment stuff. I wanna go off traveling. I wanna do this. I wanna do that. Life is about about experience. It's a journey. So you need to do it. You need to plan together.
Yes.
Don't just do it. It has the basic. No. Go over and beyond. To be honest with you.
And also, don't just go off on the holiday without each other.
I mean like,
each other.
Both of you are going together, that's what I mean. So what? He's going to go off and feel the toes in the sand in his toe? No.
Absolutely.
No, you book a ticket and you treat a woman. You look after her. You should let her feel like no other man will make her feel. That kind of stuff I'm talking about. When you're gone, God forbid it, but when God decided to take me home, I want to make sure I leave a legacy. My kids will, my kids, a memory my kids will always remember. And also, my wife, I'll leave that with that impression on her for the rest of her life.
Absolutely.
So that, she'll never forget it. No man could ever walk in my shoes because where I've made that impression on her. So the same thing, you guys want to make the same impression on your wife. And wife, you want to make the same impression on your husband also.
Amen. Amen.
Yeah.
Amen. And that's something that we've always discussed. And we're not just saying this, right, because we're on here. We're saying it because that's how we feel deep down. The impression that my husband has made on me, God forbid, right, I would never put somebody else through that because he's made that impression that nobody else, I'm not going to think that there's nobody else out there that's going to be worthy enough or would do the things that he's done for me. And that's exactly how we feel about each other. Indeed, achieving that purpose together, making sure that you're planning things. We love to plan. We love to put things and say, right, this is how we're going to achieve this, right? Into everything that we're doing, every businesses that we've got, right? I depend my husband. I depend on him, and he depends on me. I definitely depend on him. In terms of it to be my, motivate me, to push me. He's always there encouraging me. When I feel like I'm
I'm the backbone.
But I feel like, oh gosh, God, this is just, he's always been there supporting me. And that's why I said, it's a teamwork, right? You got to be there as a teamwork. You're achieving that. And if God has put a purpose, right, for you both, right, you remember, you both have got purpose. If you don't know your purpose, make sure that you find out your purpose tonight. Make sure that you don't go another day without knowing your purpose. Why have you been put together? Because it's for a purpose, and that purpose, you've got to fulfill that purpose. And guess what? God gets the glory indeed out of that. So we wanted to make sure that you're achieving your purpose together. Make sure wives, make sure men, husbands, that you are achieving, you're working on your purpose.
Achieve your purpose and your dreams together, and just sit down, and whatever it is that you thought of when you're younger, maybe you're a bit older now, I don't know, but I'm just saying, when you're younger and you thought there's stuff that you said, I want to do this or I want to do that or whatever, you sit down together, it's never too late, and just work towards your goals.
Absolutely.
There's nothing impossible. Nothing, absolutely nothing.
With God, all things are possible. Whether
Definitely.
it is a house that you need to get, you both are putting together, you both are going together, making sure that you're working together. Not, that person working that hard and that person is not pulling their weight. You both got to put it together. You have to work together. And, we want to encourage you as well in terms of, working together. Whatever it is that it is your purpose, whatever you are trying to achieve now, make sure that you are working together. You give 100% and he gives 100%. There's no, okay, then, my husband's going to do this or my wife's going to do this or no. You both have got to put in that same amount of time, energy, emotions. Everything needs to be in there. As I said, work together on your purpose, achieve things together. You are all on the same team. You are both on the same team. So make sure you are continuing to work together. And that's what we wanted to share with you tonight. Indeed, making sure you keep the fire burning. Make sure that the fire is the love feels like love. If it feels sour, then you need to work on that. You know that you need to do something about it.
You need to sweet it up.
Absolutely, whatever it takes to sweet up your marriage.
You need to work on it.
To sweet up your relationship, work on it. Making sure the love feels like love. Do not stay for no other reason but the love. Achieve your purpose together. Respect each other and cherish every opportunity that you get together. Cherish every opportunity that you have together. Indeed, we want to thank you so much for joining in. We want to thank you for sharing. Thank you so much. We hope that tonight you've learned something. We hope that tonight you will go out and you will both be working on your purpose together. And when you work on your purpose together, you are keeping that fire burning, because you know what, we've got to achieve this, and because we've got to achieve this, we're both kind of just inspiring each other. We're both bouncing after each other. Indeed, so make sure you are always keeping the fire burning. Thank you so much for listening, and we will catch you next week. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe.
If you haven't,
leave a comment.
Please do leave a feedback. If you haven't subscribed as yet, then please subscribe to Nashauna Manboard page. And just leave a comment and give us some feedback, really. And I hope that whatever it is that we discussed tonight, it will be of some help to you guys, and whatever you do, put God in front.
Absolutely, right.
So God bless you all, and I see you
next
week Sunday.
Yes,
7:30,
7:30. With living together
without falling apart.
Absolutely.
I am doing,
and I'm Nashauna, and we catch you next week same time, and we can't wait to speak to you. Bye for now. Bye.